The U.S. Marine Corps has about 170,000 active Marines. That's it. They have their own air wing, their own light armor, their own artillery. Basically, a completely self-contained fighting force that happens to be smaller than many armies' support staff. We're sending that against 6 of the largest armies on Earth, smallest to largest, to see what happens. One rule: everyone fights at current strength with real doctrine and gear. Let's go. Iran, 610,000 troops. Iran runs 2 parallel armies that don't fully trust each other. The regular Artesh has around 350,000 soldiers, and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps adds another 125,000 ground forces on top of that. Combined, they hit around 610,000. But the dual command structure creates real friction. The IRGC answers to the supreme leader, not the defense ministry, and the two forces have historically competed more than they've cooperated. Iran's conventional military took a serious beating in early 2026. Their navy was largely destroyed, missile production hammered, Air Force effectively grounded. But the conflict also proved Iran isn't just a pushover. Drone swarms hit U.S. bases across the region and closed the Strait of Hormuz for weeks. Underground missile storage survived largely intact. They're degraded, not finished. Against Marines in the air, the MAGTF has a clear edge. The F-35B gives the Marine Air Wing stealth and precision Iran's weakened air defenses can no longer reliably counter. AH-1Z Vipers shred armor columns before they close distance. But this fight happens on Iranian soil, mountainous, urban, deeply familiar to defenders who have spent decades preparing for exactly this scenario. Every U.S. military engagement in the Middle East has shown that even a technologically outmatched force can make an occupying power pay an enormous price through terrain, attrition, and the sheer cost of being far from home. Marines are built for the first brutal punch, not a grinding war of inches through Iranian cities and mountains. That's where this gets genuinely dangerous. U.S. Marines win this one 65%. Pakistan, 660,000 troops. Pakistan's army is built almost entirely around one scenario. India invades from the east. Their whole doctrine, the new concept of warfighting, is about rapid mobilization, terrain denial, and holding the line long enough that international pressure forces a ceasefire. They are very good at exactly that specific problem, and not particularly optimized for anything else. Their equipment has actually improved significantly, though. Chinese-supplied VT-4 tanks are genuine third-generation armor. The JF-17 Thunder is a capable multi-role jet, and Pakistani mountain warfare expertise built up through the Kargil conflict and years of tribal area operations is real. Pakistan's military has won actual fights. Pakistani pilots scored confirmed kills against Israeli aircraft while flying for Arab air forces in the 1967 Six-Day War, with one pilot, Saiful Azam, credited with 3 to 4 kills across Jordan and Iraq in the same conflict. The problem for Pakistan here is that a marine assault doesn't look like an Indian ground invasion. MAGTF doctrine hits from multiple directions simultaneously, with air superiority established before ground forces ever make contact. Pakistan's defensive posture assumes a slow-moving armored push it can grind down from prepared positions. Marines don't give them that luxury. The combined air-ground punch disrupts Pakistani command and control before their mobilization advantage kicks in. U.S. Marines win this one 75%. North Korea, 1,280,000 troops. North Korea has the most militarized society on the planet. Every able-bodied male serves 10 years. Their entire economy, culture, and political system exists to feed the military. The result is 1.28 million active soldiers, an artillery inventory of over 20,000 pieces, with around 500 long-range systems, Koksan 170mm guns and 240mm rocket launchers, specifically zeroed in on Seoul from positions north of the DMZ, and a special operations force of around 200,000 trained specifically for infiltration, sabotage, and command decapitation behind enemy lines. Those 500 long-range systems can reportedly fire between 2,000 and 4,000 rounds per minute at Seoul, a barrage rate that's almost impossible to fully absorb. Their SOF element is also genuinely dangerous. Marines would face a real threat from small unit infiltration and rear area attacks that their forward-focused doctrine isn't primarily designed to defend against. What North Korea can't do is fight in a transparent battlefield, where drones and real-time ISR mean there's nowhere to hide long-range artillery from precision strikes. Their equipment is almost entirely Soviet and Chinese vintage from the Cold War. When KPA troops deployed to Russia to fight in Ukraine in late 2024, reports indicated serious casualties and significant tactical failures against modern drone warfare and precision fires. A force with no ability to counter precision-guided munitions, stealth aircraft, or real-time ISR will see its artillery systematically destroyed before it can reach full saturation rate. The sheer mass of the KPA and the SOF infiltration threat still make this a longer, harder fight than the first two. US Marines win this one 68%. Russia, 1,320,000 troops. Russia's army in 2026 is not the army it was on paper before Ukraine. 4 years of grinding, attritional warfare exposed serious failures in combined arms maneuvers, logistics, and officer quality. The response has been to lean into what works: an artillery-first model, mass fires fed by drone ISR, grinding positional advantages, small unit pushes instead of large operational maneuvers. Brutal and slow, but it's been effective enough. What Russia does genuinely well is electronic warfare. Their EW systems, Boris Glebsk 2 and Lear 3, have degraded Western precision-guided munitions significantly in Ukraine. GPS-guided bombs and Excalibur artillery rounds losing accuracy in heavily jammed environments. That's not a theoretical capability. It's a proven one from years of real combat. It directly threatens the precision fires that make a MAGTF work. They also have real modern armor in the T-90M Proryf, real layered air defense in the S-400 systems, and Iskander ballistic missiles. Marines would struggle against Russia's EW environment in a way they wouldn't against any other force on this list. F-35Bs have some resistance to jamming, but the ground precision fires component of the MAGTF becomes less reliable. Russia's artillery mass, even at reduced accuracy, is still devastating at scale. The asymmetry here is real. Marines can hurt Russia badly, but Russia can absorb those hits in a way Iran and Pakistan cannot, and hit back with systems built specifically to defeat Western precision warfare doctrine. This is the closest fight on the list. Marines probably win, but not by much. US Marines win this one 52%. India, 1,450,000 troops. India's military just went through the most significant doctrinal shift in its history. Operation Sindoor in May 2025 validated the integrated battle group concept. Self-contained, combined arms formations of 5,000 to 7,000 troops that can mobilize and strike within 12 to 48 hours. By 2026, IBGs have replaced the traditional division as India's primary offensive unit. They've learned from Ukraine and from their own recent combat that they're genuinely modernizing fast. Their equipment is a real mixed bag, but trending upward. T-90 Bhishma tanks, K-9 Vajra self-propelled howitzers, BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles. The BrahMos in particular is a world-class system capable of hitting targets at nearly 300 meters at Mach 3. India also has a genuine air force that can challenge the Marine Air Wing, something earlier entries on this list couldn't say. The honest problem for the Marines is mass combined with quality. IBGs mean India isn't fielding a slow, disorganized horde. They're fielding multiple, fast, combined arms formations simultaneously. 1.45 million troops organized into agile battle groups with modern fire support is a fundamentally different challenge from Iran's aging force or North Korea's Cold War equipment. Marines win the early engagements. Sustaining that against a force that can absorb losses, regenerate, and hit back with BrahMos missiles and IBG counterattacks is where this falls apart. The Marines lose this one, 45%. China, 2,035,000 troops. China has the largest active military on Earth. a $266 billion defense budget, and modern equipment across the board. Type 99A tanks, 5,250 armored fighting vehicles, 3,060 aircraft, and a doctrine built around information dominance, deception, and destroying enemy command systems before the first shot is fired. They've been watching the US military fight for 40 years and have specifically built their force to defeat how Americans fight. The PLA's single biggest weakness is combat experience. They haven't fought a real war since 1979. Their entire officer and NCO corps has never been in combat. The command culture is deeply hierarchical, politically controlled, and rewards compliance over initiative. Exactly the wrong culture for the fast, decentralized, chaotic environment of modern combat. Russia walked into Ukraine with similar paper strength and similar combat inexperience and paid for it badly in the first months. But China is not Russia. Their training programs are far more intensive. Their equipment is genuinely modern, and 2,035,000 soldiers with real combined arms doctrine is something no 170,000 man force has ever faced and won. The Marine Air Wing faces its toughest test against Chinese integrated air defense and J-20 stealth fighters. Ground precision fires run into Chinese EW systems built specifically to defeat them. Marines would inflict serious damage, but this isn't a fight 170,000 people win against a ground force of nearly 1 million, backed by the full weight of the world's largest military. The Marines lose this one, 28%. And what if US Marines fought history's greatest empires? That video is right there on your screen. Thanks for watching.